So today we're going to look at some biblical lessons on delegation, and these are actually leadership insights that come from the story of Moses and Jethro in the Bible. So, do you ever feel overwhelmed by the weight of your responsibilities? Maybe you're a business owner and you're trying to do everything by yourself, or you're a ministry leader who is balancing countless tasks, or maybe you're a parent managing a never-ending to-do list. Well, if this sounds familiar, you're not alone, because even Moses, one of the greatest leaders in biblical history, found himself struggling under the burden of doing it all. In Exodus chapter 18, Moses' father-in-law Jethro observed his challenges and offered some wise counsel on delegation. And it's a principle that transformed Moses' leadership and can do the same for you. So let's take a deeper look at the story of Moses and Jethro and uncover some lessons that can help you lead more effectively, while at the same time empowering others to share the load. So as we go through this video today, here's a couple of things we're going to be talking about. Number one, delegation is essential for effective leadership. You're going to have to choose the right people for delegation. We're going to look at structure responsibilities to improve your efficiency. We'll also be talking about the need to focus on high priority tasks. We'll look at the importance of empowering others and how that benefits everybody. And we'll discuss barriers to delegation and how those can be overcome as well. We'll discuss delegation and how that reflects biblical principles on stewardship. And then we'll also talk about the fact that the benefits of delegation are far-reaching. So let's put a little context to our discussion today. When we look at Moses in Exodus chapter 18, he is leading the Israelites after their miraculous escape from Egypt. He serves as their judge. He's settling disputes and providing guidance from morning until evening. And every issue, big or small, comes directly to him. The workload is absolutely enormous, and it is wearing him down. And the people are also frustrated because they are waiting hours for Moses' attention. So Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, arrives, and immediately he notices the problem. He observes how Moses is stretched thin and how the people are suffering because of this inefficient system. And Jethro doesn't hold back his opinion. What you are doing is not good. You and these people who come to you will only wear yourselves out. The work is too heavy for you. You cannot handle it alone, Jethro says. This comes from Exodus 18, verses 17 and 18. So Jethro then puts forward a solution. Delegate responsibilities to others. He advises Moses to select capable, God-fearing, trustworthy men to handle smaller disputes, which would then leave Moses to focus on the most significant matters. And by creating this system, Moses could focus on his unique calling while empowering others to lead alongside of him. So this brings us to the biblical principle of delegation. This is Jethro's advice to Moses. You see, Jethro's advice is practical, but it's also profound. He doesn't suggest that Moses simply abandon his responsibilities, but rather he share them. And here's some key elements of Jethro's advice. Number one, Moses needs to select the right leaders. Moses was to choose capable, trustworthy individuals who feared God and hated dishonest gain. The workload also needed to be structured because these leaders were going to be assigned groups of thousands, hundreds, 50s, and 10s, thereby creating an organized system of delegation. And then lastly, they needed to focus on priorities. Moses was encouraged to handle the most complex cases, while others managed everyday matters. So here are the results of delegation. Moses took Jethro's advice, he implemented it, and the results were immediate. Number one, there was efficient dispute resolution because the people's issues were now addressed more quickly. Secondarily, there was leadership empowerment because new leaders were developed and entrusted with responsibility. And then this one's critical. There was sustainability. Moses avoided burnout and could focus on his primary responsibilities as a leader and mediator before God, the task that was most important. What we need to understand is that this biblical account highlights the principle that leadership is not about doing everything yourself, but it is all about equipping others to lead alongside of you. Now, here's some modern applications of delegation in leadership. The lessons that Moses learned all those years ago are just as relevant today as they were then. So whether you're leading a business, a ministry, your family, delegation can transform how you manage your responsibilities and how you empower others. So let's break this down a little bit. Let's start with delegation in business. Here's the problem. Many business leaders attempt to handle every aspect of their operations, from accounting to marketing to customer service. And what happens is this approach leads to inefficiency and ultimately to burnout. The real solution is to assign tasks to team members or to outsource the work to specialists who can handle specific areas more efficiently. Especially if you're starting out, outsourcing the work is probably your best next step. So, for example, a business owner who hires a virtual assistant for administrative tasks is going to free up time to focus on strategic decision-making and growth opportunities. Let's talk about delegation in ministry. The problem is many ministry leaders often feel obligated to manage everything, from preaching to event planning to pastoral care. And what happens is this leads to exhaustion and limits the ministry's impact. The ministry can only grow to the capacity of the senior leader. And so the solution is to identify and train leaders within the congregation to oversee specific areas, such as worship, small groups, or outreach. So as an example, a pastor who delegates small group leadership to trusted volunteers can focus on prayer, sermon preparation, and casting vision for the church. And then let's not forget delegation in personal life. Here's the problem. Individuals often take on too much. From managing household responsibilities to work commitments, leaving little time for rest or personal growth. I meet far too many individuals who have no margin left in their life. So here's the solution. Share responsibilities with other family members. You might need to hire help when possible. One of the first things that I did years ago, I stopped changing my oil and I stopped mowing my lawn. I bought back some of my time. Use tools to streamline your tasks where you can. For example, assigning household chores to children or using a grocery delivery service can free up time for meaningful family interactions or just self-care. Now, here's some key principles for effective delegation. Number one, and this one's critical, select the right people. Just as Jethro instructed Moses to choose capable and trustworthy leaders, it is very important to delegate tasks to individuals with the right skills and the right character. Secondarily, you need to clearly define roles and expectations. Ensure that those you delegate to understand their responsibilities and what success truly looks like, because clarity will prevent confusion and it will help to build trust. Third, this one's critical. Trust, but verify. Let me say that one again. Trust, but verify. While it is essential to trust your team, regular check-ins ensure accountability and allow you to provide guidance if needed. And number 4, focus on your unique contribution. Delegate tasks that don't require your specific expertise so that you can focus on high impact activities. So, for example, a business owner should focus on strategy rather than day-to-day operations. One of the things I told my team last year was, if you see me meddling around in operational stuff, fire me. Tell me to get lost. Kick me out. Tell me to go somewhere else. I don't need to be meddling in operational details. You need me out there moving the business forward, growing the business forward, creating content, talking to prospects, doing the things that grow revenue, doing the things that drive the business forward. Don't let me get busy in operational details. The other thing I had to do is I had to empower someone else to become the chief firefighter in our company. If there is a complaint with a customer, it goes to that individual before it ever comes to me. In fact, there are now 2 layers before it ever comes to me. So focus on your unique contribution. Let's talk about some of the common barriers to delegation and how you overcome those. So even when a leader understands the importance of delegation, there's often some internal barriers or conflicts that arise, and so we need to talk about how do we get around those. Well, here's the biggest one. It's the fear of letting go. It's hard to trust others with responsibilities, especially when you're used to doing it yourself. So start small. Start by delegating minor tasks and get used to letting go of things and start building trust. But you've got to start. Start letting go of things. And here's number 2, perfectionism. And here's the reality. No one will do things exactly the way you would. And that's okay. Focus on outcome rather than micromanaging the process. One of the most freeing things a mentor said to me a few years ago was this: a member of your team doing things 80% as well as you do, but freeing up 100% of your time from that task, is 100% better than you hanging on to it and doing it yourself. So, focus on the outcome rather than micromanaging the process. And then there is time investment. Training others takes time, but the long-term benefits far outweigh the initial effort. Delegation is an investment in sustainability. One of the books I would recommend you read is Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. It is a golden nugget of wisdom in this topic. Now let's look at the benefits of delegation. Once you get through that pain, that discomfort of delegating, what are the benefits? When you embrace delegation, the benefits are going to extend far beyond simple efficiency. You're going to have empowered teams because delegation is going to allow others to grow and use their unique giftedness, and you're going to have a stronger organization and stronger teams because of it. You're going to be just thrilled watching people flourish in their strengths. You're going to have increased efficiency. Tasks are going to get completed faster and more effectively when responsibilities get shared. You will avoid burnout because you can focus on your core responsibilities and avoid exhaustion. And then there is biblical alignment, and this is probably the biggest. Delegation reflects God's design for shared responsibility and stewardship. You are now operating in harmony with God's design, the way He intends for things to operate. So as we wrap this up, realize this. Delegation is not a sign of weakness. It's a mark of wise and effective leadership. You see, Moses learned this from Jethro, and it transformed his ability to lead the Israelites. It was a necessary lesson and a necessary adjustment. And by sharing responsibilities, Moses empowered others, he improved efficiency, and fulfilled his role more effectively. Now the question is, are you trying to do everything yourself? Take a moment and evaluate your current responsibilities. What tasks could you be delegating to others in your business, in your ministry, or your personal life? Start small. Trust someone else and watch how it transforms your leadership and your overall impact and effectiveness. Start following Jethro's advice, and you will be free to focus on the things that truly matter, while empowering others to step into their greatness and rise into their God-given potential. So let's do this. Let's take the step together. What area of your life or work could benefit from delegation this week? Put your thoughts in the comments, and let's encourage each other to lead with wisdom and clarity. Hope you have a great week. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next video.